For anyone listening, these are the Train Robbers. They are a really cool group of what's really cool freestyling right here. What's your name?
So this group right here, the guy you just saw playing the guitar, this is Ghost of Guitars. My name is Jadon. We're actually generations, but I work with Train Robbers. Train Robbers is Charlie Crockett, Travis Alexander, and our cinematographer Shelby Hemstock.
So you're a lead freestyler for them then?
Yeah, basically. And then Charlie's like the lead vocalist. He plays guitar. Travis does like backup guitar or whatever, and then Shelby covers the camera with the camera. But I met him before I met Train Robbers. We were generations before Train Robbers.
Okay, so you guys are your own collective then?
Yeah, so I work with like 5 different like groups. Yeah, basically interdependency.
Okay, so how did this whole like generation thing like? How do you even get into freestyling and whatnot?
Okay, so the Generations group started because we were actually on an F train, right? He's going to Brooklyn, had to be like Smith 9th Street. And he's on there just riffing on his guitar. Stir It Up by Bob Marley. And I'm like, yo, I definitely want to I was like, yo, what's good? Can I rap over your joint or whatever? So he was like, sure, let me rap. And I kicked my rap, and we stayed in contact. We rocked for like that hour or two that day, and then dipped off, met up again like a couple weeks later, and then he dipped off for a couple months. We met up again, and we've been working ever since. So it's been a year and a half. We have an album on iTunes. We have a video we just dropped called what is it? Sunshine Remix. It's crazy because we put it out 3 days ago and it's already at like 600 views. So it's a blessing. And so it's like we have a bunch of stuff that we're working on, a bunch of things that we have done individually and also as a group. And so we have a lot of stuff coming together. The freestyling, I got started freestyling. I've been playing around freestyling since I was like 9, 10, man. But it just progressed. I really got inspired to want to write and kick raps and poetry when I was like 14 though. I was in Cali, I was in Central California, Hanford, California, whatever. And I just watched Tupac Resurrection. That shit inspired me. I was like, man, yo, I want to be a rapper and whatever. So I would write raps, but it wasn't like Punchline Cassidy raps. When I was 14, I was writing shit like A$AP Rock. Like, you know what I'm saying, Def Jux, really complex, super deep poetry more so than raps or whatever. And I just stuck with it. When I was like 15, I was in Northern California, in my hood, my original hood, Fairfield, California, and I was at a Barnes & Noble's stealing some Playboys and some High Time magazines. I was gonna sell them to the kids around my neighborhood, and an open mic was going on. So I asked what the open mic was, wrote a little poem rap, to my first poem, met my first mentor, and that was kind of like my fork in the road. You know what I'm saying? Because all my boys now, most of them are dead or in jail. And that's typical amongst young black men these days. But it's real. Like all my boys are really dead or in jail. And if I hadn't found art, I would be another statistic. True story.
I gotta say, I love how you guys just snake around and just give like random performances. What I love about like the randomness of it, just like the spontaneity of it. That's my favorite part of the whole this generation setup in general.
I mean, you can't beat this, man. I'm living my homie's dreams right now. And sometimes I take it for granted and I laugh it off because, you know, we have a tendency to be in our own minds. But I have to humble myself and I'm like, yo, one, I made it to 21. I'm not locked up or dead or missing any body parts. You know what I'm saying? I'm rapping on trains, connecting to people, all races and age ranges, classes. We're talking preppy people. We're talking the hoodest dudes from the side, from Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere, giving us common respect. And you can't beat that because that's protection in a sense. You know what I'm saying? The streets are really watching. And it's like, we're good in so many different neighborhoods off the strength of rapping. I walk through Bed-Stuy all the time down Myrtle Ave, and it'll be cats from the projects, from like Tompkins or whatever, that'll rob you. And it'd be like, yo, that's Bull from a train. He was rapping, what's good? Whatever, what's good? How you doing? You good? Whoop-de-whoop. And it's like, you can't beat that. Like, yeah, we off right here.
So what's the usual reaction you get from people when you're, the audiences? What's the usual reaction?
Man, it's 80, I can roughly say this, 85% clap, 85% enjoyment, and like 3%, I won't say 99% enjoyment because I feel like I'm pushing it. I'll say at least 85% enjoyment from everybody in the car. And then you have that 5 to 10% that are douchebags and some people, and then you have like that 3% that you don't know if they like it or not, but they might really not have anything to give, whether donations or CDs or just daps or even eye approval. People get nervous. When you saw me last year, I wasn't even improvising off of people. I was just rapping on the train, spitting bars with Charlie.
Wow, that was awesome.
Now, a year later, not even a year later, 6 months later, I've kind of evolved, and I improv about people on the train. You're rocking your hat. I'm black, kicking raps on the track. Get off my sack. You know what I mean? whatever. And it makes sense though. I'll start rapping about yoga and shit, and they'll be like, what? And it's funny, right? Because I'm not even a racist or classist type individual, but I can honestly tell you this. I'll be on the train, my pants sagging, rocking my t-shirts and shit, kicking raps, right? Going in, and then I'll start, and keep in mind, there'll be like older white people and shit, they'll be slightly paying attention, a little bit. And then I'll start referencing yoga, and I'll break it down. It's not like I'm just trying to be cool, like I'm rolling up like a yoga mat. I'll really be like, no, I put down fast food and soda, and I do yoga. That might be one of the only repetitive lines I say, and I break it down. I'm like Hatha, Vinyasa, Bikram, and I break down other ones. And when I say shit like that, those can vouch for me. Their eyes open up, and they're like, damn. And that's when you can say that the train is roughly 85 to 90% enjoyable. Because when I'm just on there doing braggadocio rhymes, I got bitches, I got hoes. Not even that I rap like that, but just typical shit. It's like it only goes so far. But when you really break it down and you analyze people and you break down what they're really looking at, that's when it's like, you know, powerful.
It reminds me like improv. Like I noticed when we were on the train, you were talking, next stop is 34 from this is that, and this, like as the train was going, you were thinking this all up. But the improvisation of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard work, man. It's the coolest thing in the world. I would have never thought I'd be able to rhyme as well as I am now. And no arrogancy, but I'll rap with anybody these days and hold my own. And because I freestyle so much, I can rap in a cypher forever. Until people are like, yo, shut up. Stop rapping.
I can vouch for that.
Son,
Any stories about that? Like any
No, well, I want to speak on one thing that Jay said, is that when he was talking about like the connection rate for the people, like he was saying 85%, I think that's very accurate, but I think 100% of the time he's altering people's perceptions on a really deep level, like whether they enjoyed it or they didn't enjoy it. Their mind has changed. So the next time, you know, a young African kid and a middle-aged white guy gets on the train, or whoever, people aren't looking at them like they're bums, you know, because there is a perception with that, with street art, that everybody's homeless and, you know, they can't feed themselves and they're just begging, you know. And there's this perception, and I see that all the time being smashed, you know.
No, real talk.
What would you say is like what really defines generations? What would you say is the one thing that defines you above all else?
Well, I mean, we have an obvious 20-year age difference, so that defines me and him. That's where the name came from originally, when it was me, Jay, and another guy who's 20 years older than me, who was like kind of my street performing mentor, right? But I think what defines us is that we have a little bit more professionalism. Like we can go and rock a club and bring that same energy that we bring from the train onto a club, you know, and that to me means a lot. I hadn't wanted to do that. I was just like playing on the trains, having a great experience, working on film scores, you know, and then we start doing this stuff. And the only thing with the freestyling thing, the crazy thing, the few times we've gone to the studio, I mean, I've just seen him go in there and freestyle whole songs. And that's a powerful thing.
This man had me do, last time I went in the studio, this guy had me do 20 takes of a verse.
Wow.
And I just banged it out.
It just kept getting better.
All freestyles.
Like sometimes when we go out and play, I'll hear 40 freestyles in a day. So sometimes number 32 or number 35 freestyle is like, that's it. That was like, that's like KRS-One shit, like legendary shit that people are gonna listen to over and over and over again. Take 1 or take 5 was great, but sometimes we get around up to take 20, or like I said, take 32, or it's the end of the day and it's like our last performance, and it's the you know, yeah.
Nice. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I gotta say, I loved hearing you dudes. And did you have a record deal or anything like that?
Man, at this point, we are independent, luckily. I mean, I'd say if I was to get signed to anybody, I was signed to either Young Money or specifically Rostrum Records. Not because Wiz and Mac Miller are signed to Rostrum, but just because I love what Rostrum Records represents. It's such a dope label, and you can actually experiment on that label. I could put out shit like we're putting out now with Ghost. With Young Money, I might not necessarily be able to drop everything that we're doing acoustically, because Wayne or MMG, Rick Ross and them, they're rhyming over hard ass beats, and I'm not saying I'll body them on their beats, but it'll get old after a while. If you notice, it's the same shit sometimes. And I love Meek. I fuck with Meek Mills to death, like OD. But I would love to see him challenge himself and drop some political shit one day. Then go back to the street shit. Then spit some love shit. Not just bam, 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 street shit.
I'm a bum.
Yeah, exactly. Same with French. I love them. I love Coke Boys. I fuck with them. But it's like, where I'm at, I need to be able to hear somebody that can be a product of their environment and not just one thing. Not just a gangster, or not just a thug, or not just a backpack conscious college kid. Nah, be able to embody everything. Be able to walk into a trap house and feel comfortable with guns on the table. Then tomorrow be able to go to an Ivy League school and connect with some kids at UPenn. Then the next day be able to break down to your friends what you're going through with your relationship. Then be able to be fluid, be a fluid individual, and that's what I'm all about. At the end of the day, I can be whatever I need to be for survival, because that's what's been dealt to me all my life. So it's like, that's why I say I was signed to Rasham. I could be that fluid individual on that label, and I wouldn't get in trouble, or it wouldn't be awkward. It would only be love, because if I'm signed through Rasham, I could pick up a deal through Interscope or through Def Jam, and I wouldn't just be another artist on Def Jam. No, I'd be Rasham, just getting distribution through Def Jam. Look at how many albums get shelved on all these major labels. I'm good. I'm good. I pass. I'm good. I don't want to do it to myself. I get more money in the streets than I do signing any label.
Wow, you are awesome. I thank you guys for the day.